Good evening, everyone. I'm Riley King, and welcome to your evening newscast right here on WRMK News 12. We got a lot of coverage to get to this evening, so let's get started right now. First up, we begin with a press conference that Governor Janet Mills of Maine did today. Maine governor promises board discussion about gun violence in public safety. Let's take a listen to that report right now. Maine governor promises board discussion about gun violence in public safety. In response to last week's mass shootings that left 18 people dead, Maine Governor Janet Mills said she will initiate a thoughtful and comprehensive discussion involving law enforcement, advocates, and elected officials from both sides of the aisle to discuss the issue of gun violence in public safety. Mills stressed that action is needed and will come after a board discussion. The people of Maine deserve this discussion, Mills said. Mills said Maine State Police will continue its investigation into last Wednesday's shootings at Just in Time Recreation and the Bar and Grill that left 18 people dead and 13 people wounded. Robert Card is believed to be responsible. He was found dead of an apparent self-inflicted gunshot wound after 2 days manhunt Friday night. While the manhunt has ended, the search for justice will continue, Mills said. Mills said its focus of her office to determine the circumstances surrounding the shootings and help people heal. With healing in mind, Mills announced that her office will work closely with schools in Lewiston to ensure clinics and counselor support is available. Those interested in learning about mental health resources available can visit this link, and we will share the link with you on WRMK News 12. Anyone in a mental health crisis can call or text 988 anytime. Many businesses were closed during the manhunt, and Mills announced that her administration will work with the SBA to unlock financial assistance to businesses in need. Mills also announced that all flags in Maine should remain lowered through November 17th, an additional 18 days to honor each of the 18 victims. And that does it for this news report right here on WRMK News 12. Thank you for listening to this news report. I'm Riley King, reporting for WRMK News 12. Okay, and there you go on that report. Lewiston schools plan to ease students back into the classroom in wake of the mass shooting. Let's take a listen to that report from WRMK News 12. Good evening, everyone. I'm Riley King, and welcome to this news report right here on WRMK News 12. Let's get started right now. Lewiston schools plan to ease students back into classrooms in wake of mass shooting. Schools in Lewiston, Maine remained closed Monday, 5 days after a mass shooting that killed 18 people. School officials said they are working on their plan to bring students back into the classroom after the shooter was found dead Friday of a self-inflicted gunshot wound. Lewiston Public School officials said the first priority are to navigate getting back into routine and giving plenty of space and time for the district's 5,600 students and more than 1,000 staff members to heal. The tragedy hit close to home for the school district. One of the victims worked in the district for decades. Her husband was also killed, and their son is a current school employee. The school will have counselors available and other resources over the next few days, starting Tuesday, when children and staff members start to return. For the next 3 weeks, students will be released early from school on Wednesdays. When students are in class, they will have a light workload and work their way back up to a normal day. The superintendent stressed the need to support one another right now, to talk about the process, the emotions staff members, students, and their families are going through, and to not rush the grieving, mourning, and healing the community needs. The district has scheduled a virtual town hall at 6 p.m. tonight to talk about the reopening plans and answer parents' questions before students head back to class Tuesday. Reporting live here in Lewiston, Maine, I'm Riley King for WRMK News 12. Thank you for watching this evening news report right here on WRMK News 12. Back over to you in the studio.
Okay, and there you go on that report. Man accused of killing man at New Hampshire Inn 7 years ago. Let's take a listen to that report from WMUR News 9.
Time for a new heating system? Just call Heritage Home Service. For a limited time, get up to $1,750 off your new heating system. Plus, save up to $3,200 in tax rebates on qualifying heating systems. Call Heritage Home Service for a free same-day, no-obligation quote. Just call Heritage.com.
Well, Jen, the affidavit in this case is sealed, but Assistant AG Rachel Harrington says there have been some recent developments in the investigation, which has been ongoing since 2016, that led to this arrest. Investigators say 51-year-old Robert Dowling from Haverhill, Massachusetts, was arraigned in Essex County today on a fugitive from justice charge. They say he waived extradition, but they're working to bring him to New Hampshire so he can face a second-degree murder charge here. Dowling is accused of assaulting 64-year-old David Bruce Goodwin at his home at the Conway Valley Inn in May 2016. Officials say Goodwin died from blunt force trauma to the head 2 days later, and that Conway Police and State Police's cold case and major crimes units have been looking for his killer ever since. And officials expect Dowling will be extradited to New Hampshire within the next day or two, where, again, he will face a second-degree murder charge. We're live in Concord. Hannah Cotter, WMUR News 9.
Okay, and there you go on that report. Jury selection begins in trial of man charged in Pelham church shooting. Let's take a listen to that report from WMUR News 9.
Frustrated with cable internet? It's time to cancel cable and move on to something better. Fidium Fiber Internet delivers more. Sign up today and get twice the speed of cable for the same price. Plus, lock your rate in for a year. Order today.
Dale Holloway is charged with 2 counts of attempted murder, 2 counts of first-degree assault, possession of a firearm, second-degree assault, and simple assault. Holloway is representing himself, so he sat alone at the defense table, but he does have an attorney available to consult if needed. Prosecutors say in October of 2019, Holloway entered a church during a wedding and opened fire. The bishop was badly wounded. The bride also injured. The shooting happened 12 days after Holloway's stepfather was murdered by the groom's son. Holloway has said he intends to introduce issues with his mental health at the time of the shooting, along with his troubled childhood. Towards that end, the judge asked the 60 to 70 potential jurors if they have any preconceived notions about mental health. He also asked if they have any issues with firearms or belong to any groups that have taken a position on guns. Those questions were in addition to the traditional questions about constitutional rights, such as presumption of innocence. Eventually, 28 jurors will be chosen. Each side will get to strike 5, whittling the pool down to 18 jurors. Those jurors won't know who will be picked as the alternates until after the closing arguments and jury instructions. The trial is expected to last about 8 days, opening statements scheduled for tomorrow morning. In Nashua, Ray Brewer, WMUR News 9.
Okay, and there you go on that report. New fear for hostages as Israel ground offensive escalates. Let's take a listen to that report from NBC News.
This morning, Israel taking its ground operation against Hamas deeper into Gaza, preparing for what looks more like a long siege than an all-out assault. For Palestinians, that may mean months of misery ahead. More than 8,000 have been killed in Gaza already, including many children, according to the Hamas-run health ministry. Food and medicine in short supply, and the U.S. urging Israel to allow in more aid, including fuel, which it's blocked so far.
We should work out a way to get fuel to those places so that Hamas can't divert it, steal it, or use it for military purposes.
And for the families of Israeli hostages, fears that the ground operation puts their loved ones in the crossfire.
We are very worried about that.
Malki Shemtov voicing those fears to Israel's prime minister in a meeting with families Saturday. His 21-year-old son Omer was kidnapped from the music festival. The family recognizing Omer in this Hamas video by his tattoos and distinctive shorts. Now, they're urging the government to free Palestinian prisoners as part of an exchange.
Let's make all the swap, send them all the prisoners that are here, and release all the hostages.
Hamas's leader in Gaza says he's open to such a trade, a claim Israel is dismissing as psychological terror. We first met Omer's family in the opening days of the war. His older brother showing us his room, untouched since he disappeared.
This is his room exactly as he left.
Exactly as he left.
Waiting, hoping, and doing everything they can to bring him home.
And in just the last few hours, Israel's military has raised the number of hostages again, now saying there are at least 239 people being held inside Gaza. Hamas claims nearly 50 hostages have been killed so far by Israeli fire. NBC News has not been able to verify that claim. Savannah.
All right, Ralph Sanchez for us. Ralph, thank you.
Hey, thanks for watching. Don't...
Okay, and there you go on that report. Whoops, sorry about that. And we are going to switch gears now, and let's take a look at how your evening commute traffic is looking like as you hit the roads, and be prepared for some wet roadways this evening because it's been raining all day, so there could be some ponding on those roadways. On 93 heading into Massachusetts, you got a fairly nice smooth sailing ride there. 293, a nice smooth sailing ride as well. 89, a nice smooth sailing ride as well. 93 around the Concord stretch, not too bad of a ride there. A little bit of medium paced traffic as you can see. 393 between Concord and Chichester, nice smooth sailing ride as well. Report a nice smooth sailing ride with some medium paced traffic. Route 16 of the Spotlight, not too bad of a ride there. 95 remain, New Hampshire into the border, Massachusetts, a nice smooth sailing ride as well. 101, a nice smooth sailing ride as well. In Merrimack, Nashua into that border, Massachusetts, not too bad of a ride there as well. That's a look at your traffic for this evening. And if you do spot any traffic issues, make sure you let us know so we can let our viewers know as well. And now, let's go into weather. Here is a weather forecast from meteorologist Kevin Skarupa.
Ron DeSantis can't stop lying about Nikki Haley. DeSantis gave millions to Chinese companies. DeSantis even voted.
No doubt about it, it is a soggy afternoon out there. The rainfall, the back edge of it, making its way across the state later this afternoon, will set up a much cooler breeze later on tonight as temperatures drop back into the 20s to lower 30s. Tomorrow, much cooler day with highs only in the mid-40s, but it will be with a lighter wind and a good deal of sunshine, looking good for the trick-or-treaters, albeit chilly tomorrow evening. And then a warming trend heading into the rest of the week with a good deal of sunshine around. So there is a look at Storm Tracker. And again, the back edge of this rain crossing the state from west to east during the afternoon, drying out as we go into this evening as the wind picks up out of the northwest. Temperatures tomorrow will be in the mid-40s after starting in the 20s to lower 30s early. Should be good for the trick-or-treaters, albeit with temperatures within a few degrees of 40. It will be with a light wind and clear skies. Heading into Wednesday, system passing offshore, far enough away that no organized precipitation is a possibility, but there might be a rain or a snow shower around on Wednesday, and that eventually sets up a warming trend as winds turn back to the southwest. Thursday and Friday with some sunshine will climb through the 50s for highs, and that will likely extend into next weekend as it stands. So there's your cool down. Couple of nights where temperatures fade back into the 20s. Could be the first hard freeze for several areas Wednesday and Thursday morning. Then there's that warming trend heading into next weekend.
Okay, and there you go on a look at your weather. And we are going to switch gears now, and let's go into sports right now.
Good evening, everyone. I'm Riley King, and welcome to your sports report right here on WRMK News 12. Let's begin with your sports report right now. First up, the New England Patriots, they had a game last night, and the final score of that game was Miami Dolphins 31 and New England Patriots 17. The Miami Dolphins won the game yesterday. Miami Dolphins 6-2 and New England Patriots 2-6. Next game for New England Patriots will be on Sunday, November 5th at 1 p.m. against Washington Commanders at Foxborough. Let's go New England Patriots. Hopefully they can win next week's game. The Boston Celtics, they have a game tonight at 7 p.m. at Washington Wizards. Let's go Boston Celtics. Hopefully they can win tonight's game. Boston Celtics are 2-0 and Washington Wizards are 1-1. And the Boston Bruins, they have a game tonight at 7 p.m. against the Florida Panthers at the TD Garden in Boston. Let's go Boston Bruins. Hopefully they can win tonight's game. Game time 7 p.m. at TD Garden. Boston Bruins are 7-0-1 and Florida Panthers are 4-3-0. Let's go Boston Bruins. Hopefully they can win tonight's game. And that does it for your sports report right here on WRMK News 12. Thank you for tuning in and watching. Have a great evening. Good night and goodbye.
Okay, and there you go on that. And that does it for this evening edition of your evening newscast right here on WRMK News 12. Thank you for tuning in and watching. Have a great evening, everyone. I'll see you back here tomorrow for another newscast. Good night and goodbye.